Good morning, Vlogalogue. So I find it weird that this is the topic for Vlogalogue, because this is pretty much all I've been thinking about for the past 2 weeks or so. I don't know why, but in all my Vlogalogue videos I seem to start with a, for those of you who don't know information about my life, but for those of you who don't know, I have a part-time job, but that's like barely 10 hours a week. It's a really great job and I love it, and it's fairly slow-paced, it's nice. But on the other hand, I also have a particular set of skills that allows me to do contract work for various companies. So my life can go from like pretty chillaxed to like crazy in like a day. So the other week I worked 4 day shifts and 5 night shifts in 5 days. But you see, that nearly killed me. And then once I went home and slept for about 18 hours, I got up and in my groggy state I realised that I used to do that every week. About 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I had I didn't have a degree. I was doing my degree at university. I had a part-time job. I had a full-time tech job that was 3 16-hour shifts a week, as well as like hobbies and starting YouTube and stuff. And I did it all the time. I just didn't sleep that much. I just did all the things all of the time. And that was a kind of crazy period in my life, and one that I still look back on confused now, because 1, I just don't know how I did it, and 2, how did it not kill me? Like, I remember the day after I left one of my jobs, I went to a 0 hours contract. I was sitting in a pub having breakfast after a really boozy night. I was like proper rough, and I just remember sitting there just completely like about how that I'd survived the last 9 months of my life, because I was running on empty all of the time, and the only thing that kept me going was the fact that if I stopped, I'd be letting anywhere from 2 to 6,000 people down. But the problem being, at the same time, I'm stood here with hindsight saying those were some stupid times, what the hell was I was doing, but I loved every minute of it. I probably still, if they said, do you want to do it again, I probably would say, yeah, I want to do that again. That was awesome. But like, it was an enjoyable time, but was it time well spent is the question I ask. I mean, you know that old expression, stop and smell the roses? Well, I never got to stop and smell them, and by the time that I did, they had withered and died or fucked off to another city without me even realising. Maybe half of my friendship group moved away while I was working myself to death. Like, the last 6 months of their time like living with me or in the same city as me, I barely saw them. So now I find myself in between the pace of life of previous me and what I hope to be future me. I'm not that active on the internet anymore because I have to spend my time doing things that will make me money, but at the same time there isn't that many things that will make me money anymore. So occasionally I have to do, the old style of life, and I regret it every time. I think it doesn't boil down to, what you are doing and how often you're doing whatever you're doing. You could be working frickin' 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you wouldn't care, provided it was your choice. I think that's where the whole pace of life thing is kind of decided, not by how much you're doing it, or whether or not you enjoy it, but on whether it's your choice or not. And for the past 2 weeks, I've been asking myself, what choice do I want to make? And to be quite honest, I have no fucking idea. And I don't think anybody does. And that's how we end up in really miserable situations where we work jobs that we don't like for the money or for the hours or whatever, where we end up sacrificing things that we didn't need to sacrifice so we can have more time to do this or more time to do that, or to make time for whatever we think is important. Do you have the choice to do what you want, and is that what you think is important? So to answer the question in a very roundabout way is, my pace of life is up and down, and I've been thinking about my future pace of life for a while now, and I don't have an answer, as to where I want it to go. Right now I'd just like to do anything because I've spent the last 7 days in this room going crazy because I busted my knee and I couldn't go anywhere. And that was a miserable pace of life, but at the same time, not sleeping allows you to get so much work done. And you see, you're back to the whole conflictual, that is not good for your health, what are you doing? Well, it was my choice, but it's not a good choice, or is it a good choice? And I don't have an answer for you, Vlogalogue. I just don't, okay? All I know is I enjoy ruining my own life and then regretting it afterwards, and I need to make a decision as to whether I'm going to ruin the next year of my life to enjoy myself and regret it afterwards, or go for a more slow pace of life and not get that much done / get that much money, and I don't know. Go away, I'll see you all next... No, I won't see you next week.